Last time on Shadow Peace, the samurai and their allies fought against Admiral Green Bull. While they may be the strongest people in Wano, the outside world is dangerous. With every second battling against this foe, they understand more and more why they isolated themselves in the country of samurai. But remaining safe in your home like a turtle in its shell is not what they want. Freedom and joy are aspects they seek for their life, and first they need to be able to protect themselves. Alone, none of them would be able to defeat the Marine Admiral, but maybe together it is possible. Raizo and the 4 Yakuza bosses are already down for the count, but 10 fighters are still remaining. Even after Aramaki mocked them all and declared his superiority, they are not scared. They want to win. They want to win with their own strength. And knowing that there are strong people backing them up just in case, gives them the chance to go all in and go all out, and fight until they can't even stand anymore. And so the battle for freedom continues. One ninja is already out, but another one has continued to train for 20 years. Her techniques are perfect for this scenario. Shinobu pulls out a pair of metal balls, and after a big jump she throws her attack at Green Bull. The Admiral doesn't even bother to defend against the attack. There is no haki, so there is no danger. One ball crashes into the ground, not even hitting its target. Aramaki starts to laugh. Well, maybe a bit too early. The second metal ball ricochets from the first, and with its changed trajectory it hits the intended target. Shinobu shouts out, "Ball Crusher!" Every man present or spectating the battle flinches and touches their groin. Unlike the attacks where Green Bull could just regenerate his body, this time his special acorns got crushed by iron balls. Even without haki, this one hurts. As the bewitching ninja, I know every man's weakness. Shinobu blows a kiss at her allies and throws kunai and shuriken at the enemy. They hit his body as well, however not like the first attack, he really doesn't care about this one. They are not covered in haki after all. In this dazed moment, 2 other samurai take the opportunity to attack. Denjiro and Kikunojo sprint towards the opponent and in quick succession their attacks connect. First, Denjiro uses Odin's 2-sword style, Paradise Waterfall. This was the technique used by Kotoki Odin to cut through the mountain gods, the gigantic white boar. His strong haki bypasses Green Bull's powers, and the first spurt of blood can be seen, a clean horizontal slash through his stomach. It is not too deep, but the damage starts to stack up. In addition to using up stamina to regenerate his body from saplings, he is now also bleeding. If that wasn't already enough, Kiku holds her katana in an unorthodox fashion. A cold wind blows over the battlefield. In a split second she puts her mask on her face and her torso drops over into a hunched over position, before she whispers in an almost unrecognizable voice, "Snow Demon Mutilation." Her cold breath can be seen coming out of the mask, and her blade cuts Green Bull in various locations. Over the course of the attack, the cuts form multiple drawings of snowflakes on his body. He may have underestimated the samurai, but even with a few cuts, he is far stronger than them. Tree trunks got smashed together, poison ivy shots and vines holding them in place. Green Bull controls the flow once again. His breathing got a bit heavier, but with his righteous forest punishment, he hits both Kawamatsu and Shinobu. The fishermen and the kunoichi get entangled in vines. Before they can cut themselves free, more black tree trunks smash them furiously into the ground, knocking them out in the process. 2 more down. The battle has not shifted in favor once. It is like an adult playing around with children. I mean, some of the children are quite powerful, but in the end they are still kids. Just like her, Yamato is in her hybrid form. The 2 strongest women of Wano are connected to snow and ice. That's pretty neat. It is clear to her that she is the strongest person on the Wano team. She may not be as smart as the 5D chess strategist Kinemon, or as smart as the sly Denjiro that tricked Kaido and Orochi for over 20 years, but she is the one person with the most strength. Ice forms around her arms, just like armor, from her shoulders all the way to her hands, cold blue ice with spikes. Glacier Pike Armor. Using her superhuman strength and her club, she smashes right into Green Bull, and while she does so, needles out of ice pierce through Aramaki's body. Countless small holes are being opened up on his body, creating even more blood loss. For a foreigner, it is an easy feat to understand who the greatest dangers are. But just like he learned from a young age, when faced by a huge number of enemies, reduce that number as fast as possible. So he starts shouting, "Just drop dead! Gross of wrath!" Green Bull generates woods from his arms and manipulates it to shape a giant wooden golem rising to the surface that covers his entire original body. The gigantic muscular wooden arms smash down into the two beasts. They were raised and moved down at their speed too fast even for the two mink leaders. No, wait, it actually wasn't. In the instant the fists connected with their bodies, they used their blades and claws, basically everything sharp that they had on their bodies, to counter the attack. Unfortunately, their eyes still turn white and their personal katanas gets broken. However, they achieved something. The wooden arms have been cut off. Inside this giant wood golem, Green Bull looks even more imposing. That the arms are currently missing isn't changing much. You drop like the flies you are. Just give up. You can't happy I am keeping these fools alive at all. Now, go on your knees. Out of the golem's chest, tree trunks are being shot like rockets, making the samurai seemingly dance around to dodge. Momonosuke can't do more than just fly around in his dragon form. Another breath is not coming out. It might be his own nervousness hindering him, but he can't do anything about it. The situation is just very anxiety-inducing. Once after the other, his friends and the people he looks up to are being defeated, and he's basically just watching like a helpless child. Not many remain standing. Two of the brave samurai haven't seen each other for years, but their blood connects them. "Kiku, do you still know that move we wanted to do as children? I think it's time to turn it into reality." Kiku nods towards her brother. After being raised in a dancing school, their movement abilities are very high level. One has the refined movement of a samurai, and the other has the foreign movement of a pirate. And yet, together, the way they are moving is smooth and mesmerizing. And in a synchronized voice they scream, "Sibling stance! Frozen bonds!" As they move around, Izo shoots bullets in an entertaining pattern. The noise of the gun almost sounds like a song. Meanwhile, Kikunojo's sword stance combined with her skillful jumps change the trajectory of every single bullet, cutting some in half and leaving others whole. The hail of bullets and flying cuts surrounds the admiral slowly, chipping away his wooden armor. Bits and pieces of the golem get ripped off until none of it remains. The siblings are about to launch one final combined attack when Green Bull himself blasts branches of his body, piercing Izo through the shoulder and Kiko through her thigh. With the help of their armament haki, they managed to guard their remaining body. While they only got pierced once, the others still managed to damage them, and thus the two siblings also fall on the ground, unconscious. Aramaki kicks Izo out of his way and points his own sword at Momonosuke. "You are their leader, right? Give up, you fool, or else all of them will suffer even more." The young lord starts shivering, but soon he feels a hand on his dragon's body. Kinemon is there for him. They acted like father and son for months. Out of every scabbard, he has the closest connection to Momonosuke, so he tries his best to encourage him. "Don't fear him, Lord Momonosuke. We are all here for you. As your vassals, as your friends, and most importantly, as your family." While his statement may have held more power if more people were still standing, but it is exactly what he needs right now. Every little boost and courage is helpful. The young shogun charges at Green Bull, and in a combo of tail swipes, claw attacks and bites, he should have dealt at least some damage. "Perfect, my lord, and we are not going to fall behind, right, Kinemon?" Denjiro looks at his last comrade standing. "You probably expected all of this. Go and lead the next attack. I will follow you as our master strategist." Yamato remains beside Momonosuke, while the two last samurai rush in for the attack. One relies solely on Odin's swordsmanship, the other mastered his own style. Kinemon may not be the genius everyone takes him for, but somehow everything just works out for him. Denjiro is following closely to support the leader of the 9 Red Scabbards. As a fire expert, he should have the upper hand against the forest man, but compared to the Marine Admiral, his haki prowess would be mediocre. However, there is no time to doubt yourself. His flame ignites both his heart and his blades. 20 years did everyone suffer. They won't fall into yet another tyranny. The foxfire blinks at his comrades, and this is enough for the actual smart Denjiro to pick up something. This movement, it is the Foxfire style, but it uses the Oden two-sword style as a building block, and here it comes. Oden Foxfire style, Purgatory Waterfall. This enhanced version of the Paradise Waterfall has increased strength, not only because it has the combined powers of Kinemon and Denjiro, but also because the heat of flames have literally heated up their muscles. Denjiro's first Paradise Waterfall already managed to endure the enemy. Now both of their Haki combined and the elemental advantage hit Aramaki straight on.
Oden Nitoryu. Tougen Shirataki.
The fire continues to dig deeper and deeper. Burning the body isn't enough, so let's just go deeper straight into the insides of the targets. Green Bull gets knocked back, actually screaming in pain. As fast as he can, he recovers his open wound. However, scars can already be seen. He won't go away without some presence from the citizen of Wano. He coughs up blood, and it's quite hard to breathe, and yet he shows no signs of being scared. His idol Akainu has much hotter attacks after all. A waterfall is just part of nature, and I control nature. Kneel before me. His lungs are still filled with smoke. Heavenly jeweled, giant jack spear. All his plants grow almost immediately, and so does the giant jack as well. It's an enormous beanstalk shaped into the shape of a spear. With rapid speed, it flies towards Kinemon and Denjiro. This kind of gigantic attack is impossible to parry. Their bodies would get obliterated on hits. Their death is certain. Green Bull enjoys seeing his enemies accept their demise, and the Peach Dragon falls into despair. Momonosuke continues to stretch his neck. He opens and closes his mouth repeatedly, hoping for a miracle. Screaming is once again all he can do. Kinemon! Tears flood down his inexperienced eyes, and the Foxfire can't do more than smile at Momo and shout, "It's fine, Lord Momonosuke. Don't cry. Just like before, you will rescue Wano." He closes his eyes, accepting his fate. Maybe Moriya and his comrades will step in now that everybody besides Momo and Yamato is down. Will Wano enter another period of oppression and sadness? Suddenly, from the sky, a flaming hot fire breath shoots down, burning the giant jack to ashes. Both Kinemon and Denjiro open their eyes. They are still alive, but other conflicting emotions rise up in the side of them. This also familiar but hated voice. From above the clouds, the Azure Dragon, Kaido the Beast, descends. As I thought, an admiral is still too much for you. But once again, I am impressed by your strength. You may already have improved since we battled last week. Being saved by the person that ruled with an iron fist over them and killed their own lord is something they didn't expect, but after the recent events, they are now considered allies. Waves of Conqueror's Haki get unleashed, and Green Bull jumps backwards. Peach Boy, you need to gather the heat from deep within and then shoot it out. Join me. Red energy can be seen starting to fill up both dragons' lungs. A cold sweat runs down Green Bull's body. He makes trees shoot up in front of him as a barrier before the fire gets released. The murderer of his father is now working together with him. Momo hates it, but seeing Kaido protect Wano is something to be proud of as well. They don't say it's synchronized, but both know what this attack should be called. Double Borrow Breath. The two beams unite in one red and blue swirling ray, making short presses of the trees and the tree armor of the marine. He is in his sapling form once again, and when only half of his body is recovered, a huge shadow towers over him. In human form, Kaido and Momonosuke stand in front of him. Ororororororororo! This country will remain under my protection. Disappear, rookie admiral. The next time I see you here, I won't let you get away. The young shogun quickly adds onto that. Wano is a peaceful but powerful nation. If you dare to oppose us, you will feel the full wrath of both dragons guarding it. Mark my words, foreigner. As the shogun of Wano, I won't allow anything like this ever again. Slowly but surely, the forest man backs off, flying away with his flower powers. Victory, if you can call it that. Just like during the raid, the samurai had to rely on someone who outclasses them by multiple leagues. Now that the outsider is gone, Moria, the Strawhat Pirates, and Sanji join the warriors, helping them back on their feet. Obviously, Moria also has to taunt Kaido. The two captains start the usual back and forth until they get interrupted. Biting on his lip until he starts to bleed, Momonosuke approaches the two emperors. It pains me to ask this, but my own weakness has yet again become painfully apparent to me. Please take me under your tutelage. Please become my teacher. It took him a lot to jump over his own shadow. As the shogun, he should already be strong enough to protect them, but here he was shivering in fear. Moria is already proud of Momonosuke's growth, and with him soon leaving Wano, this is the best option for the country. Kaido, I hate you with all of my being. My father is dead because of you, and we all suffered for decades under you. But as the leader of this country, I have to leave all of it behind me. Teach me how the Azure Dragon Fruit works. Make me into a monster. The strongest creature smiles. Odin could already challenge him. If his child reaches the same levels of swordsmanship, he will already be entertaining. But the Azure Dragon Fruit on top of that will make him even stronger. This could lead to the birth of the new strongest creature. Even though technically after Moria won against Kaido, the Shadow Emperor now holds this title. The future of Wano has been saved yet again. Now the people of the country truly will enter a period of peace and prosperity, leading to what would in the future become the strongest nation in the world. A great kingdom that we might take another look at in the future. But for now, that's all from me for today's episode of Shadow Piece. All that's left for me to be said is stay happy, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay cultured. See you in the next video. Bye!